What are ghosts? In a nutshell, they're energy. You could have told me that, right? Well, let's get more into it in the way that I see them as a medium. All ghosts, spirits, and energy come in all different forms. They all originate from source energy that makes itself known in whatever shape or form that they choose. Now, I'm going to list 6 of the most common ones that I see, and I'm going to explain them. 1. Different color orbs, and the most common ones I see are black and white, along with all the other colors. 2. Apparitions of a body with or without certain parts of the body that is commonly see through. 3. The passing of energies where you saw something zip past, but you were almost clueless to what it was, but you knew that you saw it. 4. Blobs of energy, specifically in a certain corner or a certain area in a room where an impactful event happened, or there is a vortex of negative energy in that spot, or just very dense energy. 5. Sparkles of light. It could resemble glitter or light that turns on and off. And 6. An energy that comes in blurry or fuzzy in your vision, and there's no apparition of a body, but it's a blurred out spot, still or moving in your vision. So, I can name more, but those are the 6 most common ones that I see. I will discuss the other forms of energy in another video. But let's get into it in the way that I can explain as a medium and a highly sensitive empath, which just really means I'm a strong conductor of energy. Not the conductor as in steering a train, rather a conductor of energy, frequency, and light matter. So orbs are balls of energy in motion or stillness, but their form are always in vibration that can look like a static up close or further away is even hard to notice this. These balls of energy can vary in colors. The white usually is of higher vibration, though some can be tricksters, not malicious, but misleading to their origin of the higher frequencies. And those that are not beings that have never incarnated on Earth, but within the realms. Now, the darker, more blackish orbs are of denser, lower vibration energy, and they are the tricksters. They can be malicious, but only to the thoughts that we think, because they know our thoughts are creation. They just want to mess with our heads, really. The colored orbs, in my experience, are different angels and being associated with specific vibrational frequencies, like green for Archangel Raphael, for the healing, and beings of other worlds in relation to the heart chakra and the vibration of green. Okay, let's move on to apparitions of body as a whole or parts that are see-through, and some may not seem as see-through. They usually seem to appear for a brief time, usually just for a few seconds, but it could really be up to almost like a minute on average. They can pop in and out. There are occasions the energy can walk through a human body, which may give the reaction of a coldness feeling, possibly a breeze or a light wind, a disorientation, dizziness, and slightly out of breath feeling. Now, that can occur even if the apparition did not appear to the individual's human eye, but felt by the senses. The way that these energies take form depends on where they originated in their incarnation and how they want to be seen. Since we are talking about humans, at least majority of us listening to me, so let's stick with the talking about earthly bound souls who have departed this incarnation and are still holding on. Now, these souls decided to linger between the realms because their soul most likely had an impactful departure and their soul wasn't ready to transition, as in their soul felt like unfinished business of sorts, though their soul contract came to its completion. They linger still, holding on to their incarnation for answers, for clarity, though they're given time to linger. And this time facet, I was told by source channeling that time is elastic, but it stretches to a point. I call it the final stretch, when the energy must transition back into source. Some cases where the apparition didn't have, let's say, head or feet. I sure asked myself the same thing when I saw this, because this reminded me of a story back in the day when I was a costume designer, and my friend and coworker, she went to a battlefield, I think it was Gettysburg, of the Civil War, that I can't recall the exact name. And we had interesting talks, especially about paranormal stuff. So she came to me so excited, showing me the photo of a ghost she captured sitting on a rock during her visit there at the Gettysburg. So he was wearing Civil War attire and he was see-through, but you can make out his silhouette in the body and the clothing in the photo. The thing is, he had no shoes, and in one of the photos, there was no feet, and another apparition with no head. So it made us wonder. Maybe a glitch in the camera, as she didn't even see the ghost standing next to her when her husband took the picture. In my experience, I have seen apparitions without certain parts of their bodies. To me, the understanding that I receive from this is how they want to present themselves, and usually not to scare us, but it's symbolic to them, meaning it can be a way to let other energies know how they were affected by their departure, as in losing their head or their feet. They can appear wearing the clothes they feel comfortable in. The hairstyle and the accessories is very common for them to have on, as well as, like, let's say, holding a pocket watch or something that was significant to them. Okay, let's keep going because I love talking about this. Now, there are also some energies you can catch a flash of light or zipping past us. Those are more commonly from the otherworldly beings that do not want to be seen. So, their acceleration of disappearance that they left behind, kind of like a rocket ship residue, but it disappears within a few seconds, doesn't mean that the energy is bad. I'd say those beings on an individual basis are those who are assisting and disrupting in the realities that I call the fixers and the breakers. And least favorite to talk about is the black energies, which are the denser energies that can zip past, appear, and disappear, or simply can be just felt like all the other energies. Now, the darker energies are the disruptors. They especially like stagnant energy in places like corners of a room or doorways, and high electrical voltage places that they feed off the energy. Now, notice those places could have more paranormal activity than other places. Darker, denser energies just want to instill fear, really. That's all they want to do, because they know creation is in our minds. So as long as we keep that fear, they got you. Always remember that if you ever feel fear or uneasy, ask your angels, guides, and ancestors, aka grandma, grandpa, who crossed over to help remove that energy and to bring high vibe energy. But you have to ask. And also remember to stand in your power and tell an energy that you don't want to be there to leave, as it is the universal law and your spoken word to take seriously and abide by it, even if for just some time, as that energy can return for a multitude of reasons. I will do a further episode how to understand why that energy is there and how to remove it permanently or remove yourself from it. And the final mention of the blurry, fuzzy, almost pixelated vision and spot in your sight or a space that you're looking at, that wouldn't make sense to have it there. Those energies reside in dimensions in between. They can be good or bad, and I primarily had them as curious beings, lost, or just traveling through, observing for their specific reason. For example, my ex-partner came by to put our daughter to sleep, and he mentioned his father asked him to come for a chat at his house, as it was important, he said. So as he was telling me this, I saw a being standing next to him. Both our hairs on our bodies stood up straight, and we could feel the being or the energy there too, though my ex couldn't see it like I did. So when he came back from the chat with his father, he told me that a friend, a coworker, was in a coma. So he was in between worlds. So he wasn't a ghost, but he was traveling in his energetic body. He was a bit confused, his friend who was in a coma, as he asked me for help and guidance. So I guided him towards the angels and the guides for assistance to give him more clarity and peace and comfort to what to do next. There's also so much more to talk about the invisible world, which is becoming more visible to us as our senses are evolving and more humans will be able to see, feel, sense, and tune into the other realms and the energies and so much more. Exciting times we're in, and I thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. And if you found it valuable, like, share, and subscribe, and tell me in the comments, which energy have you seen, felt, or sensed? And tell me what happened. I'd love to hear from you and your paranormal experience. My name is Joanna. I'm a hypnotherapist, medium, and a quantum channeler. And remember, ghosts are nothing to be afraid of. It's just energy in a different state or form. As one day we shall all return to our original form as light, as we originated from Source.